So Glassdoor is 100% remote as a company, so you're always going to have flexibility to work from home.
Nice. Love it.
All right, and then let me see here. Can I ask for the county that you live in? I'm going to pull up compensation.
Yeah, it should be Maricopa County, I believe.
Maricopa. Nice. Okay, so we have 3 tiers total. Maricopa falls into tier 2 for us. And what that means, let me see here. Okay, so we have a minimum, a midpoint, and a maximum. I'm always really transparent with candidates that we will come between minimum to our midpoint for the role.
Okay.
So your base at the very minimum will be 39,600. And that means your OTE at the minimum would be 56,500. Now jumping to midpoint, so it's going to be between minimum and midpoint. Midpoint base is 49,500. And that means your OTE at the midpoint would be 70,700.
Okay.
All right. And then I always share max just to be fully transparent. Keep in mind that max is the most you can make as long as you have this title at Glassdoor. And max base is 59,000. Max OTE is 85,000.
Okay.
All right. So we will come between that 39 to 49 mark. So your OTE would be between 56 to 70. And then let me see here. We would also award you with some restricted stock units. I'm just pulling up the amount. Okay, so we would award you with $21,250 worth of stock. That full amount is going to vest over 4 years with a 1-year cliff.
Okay, that makes sense. And then 1-year cliff meaning?
Oh yeah, good question. So 1-year cliff means that you need to be employed by Glassdoor for 1 year before the stocks start vesting.
Okay, that makes sense. So, okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions on those. I'm happy to break down the vesting schedule, things like that. All right, and then how do you feel about benefits? Would it be helpful for me to run through those?
Yeah, it definitely would.
All right, cool. So in terms of benefits, we offer 100% paid medical, dental, vision for employees, up to 80% covered for dependents. 401k is a 50% match. Glassdoor's contribution will max out at $5,000 per year. And then we offer unlimited PTO. So you can take time off whenever you need it.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite perk, to be honest.
Yeah, the benefits sound really good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I typically bring it full circle, and I want to ask you, how does minimum to midpoint, full package, and RSUs, how does that align with what you're looking for?
Yeah, it definitely aligns. The RSUs and the benefits definitely are very incentivizing. I would say I would be looking definitely on that mid end for the base as well.
Okay, gotcha. So what I can do is I can note that getting as close to midpoint as possible is going to make the most sense. Does that help?
Yeah, definitely. And just to ask, what's required? Is it more so of an internal promotion to get to that max range, or what's that look like?
Yeah, exactly. So we leave mid to max so that you have room for performance increases over the next, however many years you're in the role before being promoted. So once you're in the role, you have what's the max? You have up until 59,000 before you max out in your current role. So that's why we want to give you some room to earn. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Cool. But I'll note that getting as close to midpoint is going to make sense. Just keep in mind, midpoint is typically the highest offer we'll go out with.
Right. No, that makes sense. As well, quick question. What are you seeing in terms of maybe average time for promotion timeline? And is it account executive next, I'm assuming, or is it different? Do you have the senior enterprise levels of SDR? How's that kind of look?
Yeah, such a good question. Average time, honestly, it really varies. I want to say, if you're really a rock star, it could probably be within a year and a half. But from these last, so this role's open because we promoted someone to the next level, which is upper mid-market account executive when you get
Nice.
to a closing role. Yeah, so there's definitely room to grow. But I'd say like probably keep in mind like 1.5 to 2 years.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, can I ask you, do you have any preferred pronouns you'd like us to use?
Yeah, just say he, him.
All right, he, him. And will you now or in the future require sponsorship to work in the U.S.?
No, I won't.
All right. So typically at this point, I'll tell you a little bit about like the role and what your process kind of looks like, and then I have a few questions for you if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. So a little about your team. You'll be reporting directly to Josh Holsinger. Josh is our manager of upper mid-market, so he leads our account executives, and then he also leads your team. So it's you and one other SDR.
Okay.
All right, and then your process. You are going to help us generate new business for Glassdoor through both inbound and outbound leads. Inbound leads, we have a chat box on our Glassdoor website. If any businesses submit inquiries through that chat box, they would come straight to you. Our outbound leads, we have a really awesome marketing team that helps create like fun initiatives. They create fun email templates for you to use.
Nice.
So you can cold email and cold call.
Okay. In terms of like just daily metrics for email and cold call, what are you seeing?
That's a good question. To be honest, I don't have the answer.
Okay.
But the next step in our process is to meet with Josh, and he for sure has like metrics and
Love
like
it. Perfect.
expectations. Awesome. What else? Oh, and then yes. So of course, when someone's interested in kind of learning more about our product, you host a discovery call with them. Hopefully, get them warmed up, and then you pass them off to an account executive to close them.
Okay. Nice. Do you ever see like, I'm sure maybe it'd be a better question for Josh too, but like SDRs closing on the discovery call, or is it more so just like a set for like the outbound?
Yeah, it's more focused on kind of like generating that excitement and warming them up. But so it's not a closing role. You would pass them off to the account executive once like numbers start being talked, or like if they want to talk about the contract.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Any other questions on your mind?
Not so far. I'm sure probably more detail just in like the sales role and some of those logistics, but I would say in terms of, do you see maybe trade shows and conferences that like the team, or does the team ever do, say, in-person meetups?
Oh, let me try to remember. I know I asked our previous SDR. Let me find it really quickly. So this role is fully remote. Like if you like, it's going to be mainly working from home, but I thought he mentioned there is like an opportunity here and there if you want to like travel, or like someone like lives near you, you're open to like seeing them in person.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I can clarify that.
Okay, yeah, and I was just asking, 'cause I know there's lots of like job fairs and conferences, and sometimes in the past roles I know quarterly retreats, or sometimes teams would just do things every once in a while. So yeah, cool. I would ask as well, in terms of your guys' timeline, what would you say ideally you're looking to bring someone on by?
Yeah, I think pretty soon, honestly. Like, full transparency, we do have a few people near end stages for the role.
Okay.
But of course, we keep interviewing until we find someone. But I think we want to hire pretty soon. Like, I'm hoping to have an offer out for the role probably within the next, like, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Nice. That fits kind of what I'm looking to, so.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, well, if you're open to it, I was going to ask you a little bit about what you've been up to, and it looks like you're currently at InstaWork. Is that right?
Yep, it is.
Cool. All right, well, how would you describe your role and, like, a little about your process?
Yeah, so right now in my role, I'm doing about 50 outbound dials a day, and anywhere from 25 to another 50 outbound emails. Super focused on personalization and being strategic with my outreach. I'm on the senior SDR side of things, so I'm reaching out to, whether it's, we can do like temporary staffing with our software for warehouses, hotels, restaurants, even like stadiums, and as small as like mom and pop shops who just need a couple people to lift some things. Like we can get them started 24 hours if they're serious. But that being said, it is a longer sales cycle on the like senior side of things, being that it's you got a couple different decision makers and multiple units to negotiate things around. So yeah, that's what my role looks like in terms of just the day to day and the scope of it.
Okay, awesome. And is your role, is it a closing role, or is it similar to ours where it's like forming them up, then passing them off?
Yes, it's typically passing them off, but like me and we've got a team of 6 SDRs. There has been times where like maybe we get them on the phone and like I said, like maybe it's the SMB side and they need someone ASAP to come in. We can on that first call like either bring an AE and have them on the call together, or like just sign them up for an account and close them, because it's just credit card and download an app.
Cool. Okay, awesome. That sounds great. Awesome. And then a check on software. Have you ever used Salesforce?
Yeah, that's what we're
or
using now. Salesforce and SalesLoft.
Salesforce, SalesLoft. Awesome. I think we have, so our chat box is called Drift. And then we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator too.
Okay. Yeah, I've used that, and then we're using Zoom Info for a lot of the lead gen.
Nice. Okay, awesome. I think we use that too. Cool. And I think we went over most of what I wanted to. Generally, what do you think made you excited to apply with Glassdoor and like learn more about the company?
Yeah, I'd say one being that I'm kind of on the staffing side now, and it's just one of the leaders in the space for sure. And I think having that transparency, like just with the reviews, especially, like it's helped me plenty of times. So yeah, just how large you guys are. You guys are the leader in the space, and wanted to deepen my knowledge in the staffing and, you know, HR side of things with companies.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you mentioned you've used our platform before too, like in your job search. It's always nice to hear stories about how it's helped. So it's great. Cool. And is there anything that's led you to pick up the job search to potentially like want something new?
Yeah, definitely. So the role at InstaWork right now is hybrid, and I've recently moved from downtown Phoenix to like Mesa, Arizona. So it is sometimes it could be like an hour commute. Some days that would be the biggest reason, and then as well, like I said, just always looking at new opportunities. I saw you guys had an opening, and just it's very incentivizing. So you guys have a really, really good company in what you're doing. You're a leader for a reason.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing some research on us. And I hear you. A 1 hour commute can be tough. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely can.
Cool. All right. Well, I think honestly we went through everything. So I'm going to ask you my wrap up questions. If you are actively interviewing, are you at beginning, middle, or end stages of those interviews?
Honestly, a mix. I've probably got another like 3 or 4 companies that I'm chatting with now. I just had a final round with Instructure, and then a couple first rounds and maybe 1 second round going right now. So yeah, nothing signed or on paper yet, but
got it. Yeah, kind of like at various stages.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then if you did accept an offer from us, would you be available to start within a 2 weeks notice?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. I think that wraps us up. Do you have any remaining questions before I tell you about what to expect next?
No more questions.
All right. Well, what I do from here, I'm going to share the notes from our conversation with Josh, the manager. If everything looks good to go, I set you up for 30 minutes to meet with him as a next step. If that conversation goes well, then we push you to the final step. That final step is, I think it's 60 minutes total.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is for you to do a discovery call with the product that you're currently familiar with. So you would do InstaWork.
Okay.
And then they'd have a few questions for you, and then we wrap up.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
All right, cool. Well, let me check my thing. I probably will get back to you by Friday, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for your time. If anything else comes up, just feel free to reach out, but I'll be in touch by Friday.
Okay, sounds good, Brittany. Thanks for the time, too.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.
All right, bye.